Hey everyone, we're here at Green Flash today. Get a chance to brew on their pilot system. Pretty exciting. We got Fletcher up here on the brew deck. He's going to be guiding us through the process. I'm the amateur, but I'm happy to be here. We've got our recipe sheet all set up. Green Flash is kind enough to put this all together for us. Pretty easy at this point. All the grains are already set up for us. Fletcher's up on the brew deck right now, getting salt added. Getting the strike water ready to go. We're just about ready to mash in. We're going to be making Searching for Clarity IPA. This is the IPA that I had entered at the Green Flash Treasure Chest Homebrew competition and was fortunate enough to win first place. I get the award of coming over and brewing on their pilot system, and then it's going to be served during San Diego Beer Week. So very excited. We've got Caden, my co-brewer, over there helping me out. Hey guys.
Caden Fletcher, pouring.
Ryan, hi, great to meet you.
Oh, cool.
Congratulations. Yeah, thank you. Yeah. They already said that I can't win next year because there's a lot of hops I use. That's what you should be doing. Yeah, that's what I told them. I can do you guys in the field out there with a lot of hops.
No, that's cool, man. You can tell it's very noisy in here because the maneuvering process.
Alright, so we're over here on the pilot system at Green Flash, and it has some similarities to a lot of homebrew systems. Some is a little bit different. At this specific system, we're going in over into the boil kettle. Now the boil kettle is actually a boil kettle / mash. We're going to dough in over there. We're going to get everything up to temp. Once we've mashed in, everything including the grains gets transferred over into the lauter. Now, this is where you would have something similar to a homebrew setup with the mash tuns that we have. Normally it's mash tun / lauters. This is where you're going to separate the beer from the grain. And then once we get all of that separated and we pull out our wort, it'll be transferred back over into the boil kettle, which is where we mashed in. It's a little bit different, but there are obviously still some similarities. Same thing. Alright, so we're all mashed in now. We've got the mash holding just at about 151. Sitting pretty. We're going to try to hold it at temp for about an hour, and then we'll get ready to transfer it over into the lauter tun where we're going to separate the wort, spars. Now, generally try to hit 5.2 to 5.4. Somewhere in that vicinity is normally good. Looks like we got 5.5, so still pretty close. Give it another stir just to make sure it doesn't change. We're having them. They'll hold it. Yeah. Okay. That is not an easy thing to get right there. That's a 44-pound box of Hallertau Middle Pro. For some reason, it's like people have a hard time sourcing that hop. Oh, really? Commercial brewers. That's actually the same hop that I used for a longer thing that I just did. So it was, Dodge and Hallertau Middle Pro. I use Middle Pro on my Hefeweizen. So it's like my staple. I don't mess around with that one. They always, oh well, we got Herzbrucker, we got this, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna take it with the one. That's cool. Here's the stuff that just came in. Oh yeah. This is one of the hops that we added to the Searching for Clarity IPA that we're making today.
Alright, the wort is actually being transferred over now. You can see a little steamy. Probably a better picture.
Alright, so at this point we've already reached the end of our mash. We stepped up our temp to about 168. We transferred all the grain and the wort from the boil kettle mash vessel over here into the lauter tun. At this point we're doing a Vorlock, so we're pulling from the bottom, recirculating back up the top to start to get the beer a little more clear. You'll be able to see the beer coming down and what it looks like at this point right through the sight glass. So it's just recirculating now, and then in a little bit we'll be sparging and pulling back into the boil kettle. So we sprayed out the boil kettle. Boil kettle's getting nice and clean. Alright, so at this point we're starting our sparge. We've already warlocked for a while, trying to get things nice and bright. We're at this point moving over the wort into the boil kettle. You can see we got a little bit of wort down there. We have also added our first hop addition, which is a little bit of Chinook for some first wort hops. I didn't go over grains, so I'll give you guys a rundown on the grains that we used. We used the majority of two-row. Two-row was about 86% of the bill. We used a little bit of Munich. We got 8% Munich. Some Dextra pills or Cara pills, about 3.5%, and just a little bit of C40, maybe just a tad under 2% for some color. And then we've got a boatload of hops. So this is going to be the Searching for Clarity IPA. It's going to be coming out San Diego Beer Week. It's going to have Chinook, Columbus, Mosaic, Amarillo, Centennial, Azacca, and some Citra. So we'll catch up on the next segment and let you guys see how the next hop addition. All right, so we're here again. We're at our boil. So at this point, we've already added our first wort addition for hops. We got a full boil going. We are now at the first hop addition. So we used Columbus on this batch. The previous batch I had used some experimental hops, experimental grapefruit. And this one we're just going to stick with Columbus again. So we got Columbus. We just did our first batch, our first hop addition. We're going to wait for another 30 minutes, and we'll do our next hop addition. We got some more Columbus for our next hop addition. Then after that comes a 10-minute addition. This 10-minute addition is going to be with Mosaic and Amarillo. And then we do a flame out addition. The flame out addition is a big one, so we got quite a few. Flame out addition is going to consist of Mosaic, Amarillo, Centennial, and Citra. I'm sorry, Mosaic, Amarillo, Centennial, and Azacca. And then the final addition will be in the Whirlpool. And we got Mosaic, Amarillo, and Citra. So a bunch of the tropical citrusy hops. Looking forward to it. We're just about down to crunch time. We only got about an hour more to go, and then we'll knock out, and everything's going to be transferred over into the fermenter. All right, so now comes the fun part. As we all know, brewing involves cleanup. So we're actually going to open the mash tun here, get all the grains swept out. We're going to get the grains cleared from the mash tun, and then these grains are going to be tossed out. So unfortunately, it's part of the job, which is why I brought my friend Caden.
Caden the cleanup boy.
Thanks. Sweet. You're doing a great job.
You're up next, Tim.
You could also make beer bread out of it. Or pizza bread.
All right, so judging by my beer, it's pretty much brew day over. I can say over, but we still have just a little more ways to go. Right now we're at about 190 in the boil kettle. We've got everything cooling down right now, but we're settling right now, so we get all the hops down to the bottom, and then we're going to start transferring. So the beer's going to go down through our plate chiller down here. It's going to be pumped right out. They're going to hook up the hose, and then I'll take you over to where the tank is going to be. They're getting the yeast ready for it at this point. This is the big hose that they're going to bring it through. We're going in Junior 1. And you can see down here we got our hose hooked up, sight glass ready to go, and then pretty soon we'll be able to see the beer pouring right through there. Alright, so pretty much done. Day's wrapped up. Fletcher's completed the brew day process. We just racked everything out of the boil kettle through the plate chiller into the bottom of Junior 1. Junior 1 now possesses all of our hoppy goodness. We've got it about 66.7 degrees. We're going to hold it at 66. They're going to slowly ramp that up, and we'll do a dry hop edition in about a week. So pretty excited. We'll see what's going on. San Diego Beer Week, searching for clarity, coming out.